person behind should never agree to 9 and 10.
But there's people that put it out on like the
They
second
do.
throw, like, hey, or even before the game started, right?
Okay, if someone asked me before the game started, maybe I would accept.
Yeah.
But like going into throw 9, if you are behind, you should not agree to 9 and 10. It is an advantage of the person ahead.
Okay, but
which is why if I am ahead, I will not even offer it.
In a tournament setting or a league setting?
In a tournament setting.
Tournament.
you get caught up in the sportsmanship of the moment.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If I am ahead
People want to please people.
and the person behind offers it to me, I will say yes.
Yeah.
I will say
a
yes.
hard time staying down from the
Oh, for sure.
like earlier today I was playing Russo.
Yeah.
And
The muscular Harry Potter. Yeah.
I was up by maybe 3 points. I don't remember what the score was.
I love you, Josh. Yeah.
And he had called kill shot, and statistically it made sense for me to stay down.
Yeah.
And so I turned around and said, like, and normally, like, 8-9 months ago, I'd be like, oh, I'm going up too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm staying down. And then I walked over and I lined up for a kill shot after I said I was staying down, and I got ready to
who's in
throw.
control of this
and I'm
body?
like, what am I doing? I didn't call. Like, this is gonna be a 1 or a 2. Like, it's tough. Like even if you know you're making the right decision, sometimes like it just
Muscle memory takes over. I love it.
Okay, that's the other
But
thing.
it also
like,
depends on like where you are in the bracket and where you are in the game.
right.
I'm on game if I've won the first game and I'm whatever down 1 up 1 on 9 and someone
you
want to
it?
do 9 and 10, I'm more apt to go up on 9 and 10 and make that agreement because I know I've got a game in hand. Now that's also backfired on me because then I just
practicing
crap
the
the
pressure
bet on
situations for later in the tournament. It makes sense.
right. But if I'm in B, maybe I don't make that decision because I have no outs at that point.
I mean, there's a certain level of like once you start hitting those and you feel it, you're like you feel it,
and that's part of the day. Today I was on kills. Like I was comfortable. And if you want to go kill, I'm going kill. I'm good with that. You want to stay bald? No.
Well, we are.
But on any other day, I'm not.
But this
I'm
is a
staying
sport
down.
that we're cramming like what? How many like 3-4 disciplines that we're cramming into a weekend. Nobody drinks. Don't worry, it's fine. But we are getting older, and this is not a
And
sport.
drinking is part of getting older.
Is it? I drink to forget that. So, but no, there's
Cause and effect right there.
It's a lot of stuff that we try to do and cram into something compared to other sports, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, Brett brought up a good point about muscle memory too, and stuff like that. And it's really easy to get caught up in the sportsmanship thing that you guys were talking about, where you just assume, even in like, actually, this has happened a few times to me in Big X.
Okay, talk to me. Let it all out.
People assume that I'm going to go up on 5, and that's not always true.
It is.
Like, okay. But
I'm joking.
realistically, depending on who my opponent is, I statistically have the best bullseye percentage in Big X in the world.
Flex.
The world.
Currently, based on just the last season alone.
He's done the
also,
numbers.
like,
He has access to it.
I look at tournaments.
We're gonna get comments on that one.
At tournaments, I look at the numbers too.
No, for sure.
Good example, World Championship.
Yep.
The play-in match against Manny Cole. I was down 1 going into throw 5.
Yep.
Manny's bullseye percentage was under 40%.
Okay.
Mine was above 60.
Yep.
Our kill shot percentages were almost identical.
Okay.
So going into throw 5, I'm like, I want to stay down. I have a better chance to tie this game or win it
He's playing
outright
money axe. That's what he's doing.
by staying down.
Yep.
So I had no intention to go up. Manny, even before his axe is out of the board on throw 4, is pointing up. I'm going up.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And I paused and I said, Manny, just so you know, I do not intend to call kill here.
I don't know if that's him assuming that you're going to go up as much as it's
okay. So
Manny getting caught up in the moment.
But Manny
Sure.
is also
But that's happened several times
been
since
throwing
then.
for
And
a long
like
time.
happened to Zach last
Longer
weekend at
thrower?
Savage Society. He did the same thing, and I'm like, I want to go up with you here because I want to be a good sport, but I wasn't going to go up.
That's one stigma that I would really love to see to like lessen the impact or maybe even go away is like somebody making a decision that's in their best interest of winning a match and being treated or looked upon differently because of that decision.
Yeah.
Like if you are statistically better off, you know, like there's been kind of this like unwritten rule that if like, oh, you're a top 50 guy playing against another top 50 guy, you go up on 9 and 10. And that's kind of the thing. Like everyone just kind of assumes that. But like if somebody's up by
I think
2
the 9 and 10
and they've
is
been
gone.
nailing all
I
their
think it's now
bullseyes
come
for 2
down to
games
10.
in a row.
That's it, right?
Like
No.
what's wrong with just hitting
I saw
another
enough of that
bullseye?
today. I was a part of enough of that today.
Yeah.
Like 9 and 10 is still very much alive. And
It is.
It
the
is.
question is,
Was
on
that
ESPN,
against the Tiny Titan? Or?
any Hatchet finals on let's not go there, please.
We'll come back to that.
I mean that's a
On-
common commentator comment.
On
Like-
any ESPN televised Hatchet, are you ever not going to see 9 and 10? Somebody's up 4 on 9.
I hope so. It keeps
Are
it,
they not going to go up?
Up 4, I think they would stay down on 9, honestly.
I'm not so
no.
sure about that.
Okay, here. I don't want to see
I don't
something
care
that's
if
already
I'm
been
on-
predetermined.
yeah.
I want to see something that's I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, but
Right.
but the smart decision is not to go up on 9. You're up 4. I'm going
not
to stay
very smart.
down, and I'm going to force them to hit that kill
But-
and force me into that kill on
So
10.
the question is if you're up by 4 and you go up on 9 and 10 and you lose,
No,
you look
it's-
foolish. If you're up by 4 and you stay down and you win, you look selfish. But only to a certain group of people. To like the
But
people
that's-
watching
that's
at home.
your peer group.
Right, but the commentators on TV, the people watching at home, they're all pulling their hair out. Like why? Like they're just understanding the game and they don't understand
They were.
the peer group, and they're like, why are they doing this?
They
like,
did
this
not
doesn't make any
understand when
sense.
Lucas and I threw zeros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They
I
they
mean-
did not understand that at all. He was like, you're giving up your chance to earn points on your opponent. I'm like, yeah, but you're also losing your opportunity to lose points on your opponent.
Yeah.
right.
Like at that point, Lucas and I were pretty even on bullseye percentages. So it was just as likely that I throw a 5 and go down 1 that it is that he throws a 5 and goes down 1.
Yeah.
And that's tough. Like I don't want to be down going in to throw 5.
Yeah.
It's not a sportsmanship thing. It's a strategy thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to be sportsmanlike I mean the crowd liked it a lot obviously, but it was not for them. It was 100% because there is so much pressure on that 4th shot to hit a bullseye to make sure that you don't go behind on 5. That to take that pressure off and just go into kills like without that pressure.
So do you think there would be an advantage to have some sort of ESPN commentator that is more statistical analysis, understands that portion of the game?
Oh,
that
like
can-
my comp maybe.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a balance.
And
It's a balance.
I'm the new commissioner
You know-
of WKTL.
Yeah,
actually.
congratulations, Mike Gum, new
Congratulations,
commissioner
Mike
of
Gum.
WKTL.
Wow, just like that.
You didn't catch that this morning.
I saw
Big
that there was
announcement.
an opening.
Big announcement just
And he
before
filled
noon this morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
9 o'clock. Yeah. But only temporary.
Yeah.
Temporary until next year's.
So that's what the
W-
K stands
yeah,
for.
until
Okay.
WKTC 3?
7?
3.
Oh,
no, WKTC
yeah,
3.
WKTC 3.
It sounds like a
WKTC,
bad radio
yeah.
station from the
Yeah,
80s.
I might rethink knife throwing.
Yeah. No, it's come
I-
down.
I-
Well, but if you win,
I heard that we were
WKTC,
going
you
no
can-
bleed, but everything's paint.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Solid.
No.
Yeah,
And-
good choices right out of the
Yeah.
gate. He's the community thrower.
listen, I've never backtracked on an idea so hard.
Yeah.
That's the no bleed knife thing that we tried at PLS. It was not good.
No, it's not working.
No, it's
I was so convinced too. I was like, "This is it. This is the solution."
No, I cracked
Like,
the numbers.
We did it.
Are you saying that you had a rule change idea and then decided it was a bad idea?
Yeah, once. Yes, I am
What?
saying that.
I got it out of the
I will
way.
definitively say that after testing, after significant
This is
testing,
a big table. I
of
didn't
an-
hear
of
you
an
guys-
idea.
That is
I am
about
willing
as
to say
likely
that I
as
am
Vin
wrong.
defending Waddle. It'll never happen.
It happens.
Oh.
There it is.
Yeah.
No, but trial and error. That's a big thing,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So-
why this stuff gets tested.
And I heard from a little birdie that a lot of these rule changes that came to the WTL were tried and tested, right? Did you guys at home try and test
Fake
some
news.
stuff?
Tyler
news?
did.
Yeah.
For like,
Just me.
for like
No,
15
yes,
minutes.
yes, they were.
No,
And they
I
actually
know-
specifically went out to
yeah.
leagues that had A, big leagues,
Mhm.
B, involved leagues,
Yeah.
and C, leagues with lots of varying skill levels.
Yeah.
So
And
that they could be tested.
I know
and,
for
like,
a
stuff
fact that
Yeah.
they was sent out to people to get tested. Because when I talked to a handful of people, like, yeah, so the new rules, they looked at me like I was crazy. And they're
Yeah.
like, you haven't
Yeah.
heard of this
Yeah.
before? Like, you never heard of it before it was announced?
Comes up to me and he says, "How do I get
they're
in the
like,
cool kids
yeah,
group? I
I'm
want
like,
to test
very
these
awkward.
rules."
It's like, how did you not know about this? I'm like, what are
Brett
you
was-
trying to tell me? Like,
Well,
what do you mean? How
you
did
were
I
trying
know?
to come
Yeah.
up with a good podcast name or whatever.
Yeah,
So that's
I
cool.
don't know.
Yeah. To be fair, two of the
I
people
don't-
that it was sent to do live sort of near Brett. So, like, I guess people in his
You
area.
figure you had your region covered.
Brett's
Yeah.
basement.
So that's
Yeah.
probably why he's like encountered
Yeah.
so many of those people. But
I went to Wellman's house and he had one of the targets drawn. He's like, have you tried this? I'm like, what is this?
Awkward.
He's like, you haven't drawn it out yet? And he was like, here's all the rules and the whole thing and the whole, like, all written out. Like, here's a screenshot of what the app's
Now,
going to
now we
look
have
like.
people that have like a 3-month advantage on this.
Yeah.
Not
It was, he maybe had it for like a
Don't
week
worry.
or something. It wasn't anything
if you have any
crazy.
problems, talk to Dustin and he'll make you a new axe. So
Right.
yeah.
yeah, also
Longer,
don't
shorter.
throw your
Yeah, please,
axes
please. A lot
of
so you
broken
figure
axes.
it out.
Go buy
A lot of broken
cheap
axes.
Wattle comp axes, super cheap.
Cheap.
Go throw them.
The
Practice
ceramic?
your 15. Please do not throw your Guthrie, your Vin, your laminate axes.
You can
at
throw your
15 for
Vin.
the first time.
Also, as you
Not a great
if you were
idea.
trying to one spin from 15 feet, don't go to 15 feet. Go to 13 feet until you can land it flat. Then go to
Then back
14
up a little
feet
bit. Work up
until
to
you
it.
can land it flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then go to 15 feet because if you can land it flat at 14 feet, you're at least going to stick it from 15 until you can like get a flat.
Yeah.
See, I didn't do that.
Stick in the board.
I just went straight to 15 with
Yeah.
my
20.
With
Yeah,
your
with-
nice
with
axe
my
and then
Cascadia,
snap it and,
and I'm just like,
and then blame
yeah, I
Tyler.
can do
yeah,
this.
that's fine. It's
Funny,
easy.
noticed
It's
you
easier
over
that
talking
way.
to Kyle earlier today
Tyler
about a
made
new
it.
handle.
yeah.
Also,
No, it
like,
worked out.
not a
It's
good
stuff.
idea.
maybe a laminate handle held together with glue is. Don't use that either.
Yeah, which is pretty
But
much
the makers
every-
love you for doing it.
Yeah. We will now have
Kyle
Mega
did
Mondays
personally
and
thank me.
Tuesdays.
It's like all those knife changes and all those knives I had to throw away. You're making up for it now. with
Yeah,
one
that was the
hand.
goal.
Knives are fine. Just people were changing them too much, right?
Yeah, and they, you know
Yeah.
what? Maybe they'll be legal in a new discipline.
See, but that's
I'll ask the new commissioner when I find him.
that's the thing. Like
No, Mike's commissioner for life.
big.
Which Mike? No, I can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
The
this
answer is
great.
yes.
Scapegoat Mike.
Oh,
did
he
it.
said yes.
Mike.
That's binding. We're under oath, I heard.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean, big picture. The knife changes were the community, modified their knives to create an advantage, and then the community collectively complained about that advantage.
Ah.
And then the community collectively got a
are you
list
throwing-
of changes to help mitify.
Are you throwing
those
throwers under
advantage.
the?
That's
Community
exactly
collectively
what.
complained about
Yeah.
the fix.
That-
about
but
they
that-
complained about.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what happened, though.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like Evan Walters that decided
the
that
name.
this wasn't. It was a reaction, and it was a reaction to people taking issue, and the people who were taking issue were thinking there was an unfair advantage, but
Again, you're blaming throwers for everything.
the throwers are the ones who modified all the knives. I mean, WKTL didn't go out there with a grinder and say, "Come here." I mean,
To the best of your knowledge.
I mean, I
Which you
haven't-
can purchase at WATL.
But if the throwers were out there modifying their knives for their own advantage and everyone was okay with it, none of those changes would have happened.
Yeah, what I'm saying is maybe they should have just let me win worlds with non-Blackhawk cheater knives, and then no
Yeah.
one would have cared.
The ones that look like penises.
Mine don't look like penises.
Which ones are the?
Those are
penis?
clovers.
The clovers.
Clovers?
I don't know what
Very
this looks
clever.
like.
Very clever.
They're lovers.
Nobody ever noticed that.
Really?
The one with two balls. You haven't.
The left
noticed
and the
that?
right?
I'll draw you some pictures. He was away that day in gym class.
Health class. I got kicked out of health class.
In Canada, we just doubled up. So
Yeah.
double.
I mean, arguably, like I think
Just bring it all the way back around.
Like, yeah, I think on like retrospectively, the modified Blackhawks, I threw them because they were modified Blackhawks and not because they were the best knives for me to throw.
Yeah.
Because my
They had a
scores
giant tip.
and my average has now gone up with unmodified Highlanders.
Oh.
And
There can be
I never would have picked them up and threw them because in my mind, I need to take advantage of every advantage I can, and that's modified Blackhawk. That was the knife at the time.
I had the same thought.
So how
and
many
I
Blackhawks did we
couldn't-
see this weekend?
Or
I think
I saw a set.
There was a white set.
I saw a white set.
You're right. Yeah, there was a white set. And there was a red set that I saw for sure. But the red set, the guy warmed up with them and then switched to I think Griffins.
So heavy.
Yeah.
It was that weighted one. That's all. Right?
Yeah, it's like the weighted bat.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
that
yeah.
you. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I didn't win knives, but I did well. Like I got throughout the beginning of the tournament. I think I had 50-51, and then the next game it was like 53-56, and then 54-56. Like I've never thrown that many mid 50s or plus 50 games in a row in a while, and even with the unfair advantage knives. So like that really kind of solidified for me sometimes you need to be pushed to try something different, and having that advantage, that handicap, I guess, doesn't let you out of that comfort
So
zone.
you're saying don't react until you've tried it.
Exactly. Right.
No, I mean that's not a shot. That's
exactly right.
You have to give something a chance. You've got to understand and try it and see how it fits you, and then
I like it.
Make a decision based on.
I mean,
that.
even the rule with the 15-foot throw, like there might be somebody out there that hates it, and then they try it, and they have this like axe sitting in somewhere with a handle that's too long.
It's not a laminate.
Yeah, and they're like,
Yes,
well, let me give this a shot, and they're just nailing everything, and they love it. It's the greatest rule in the world.
Yeah.
Like you don't know.
It's a system that has yet to be gained. That's the big thing, and I say that in a good positive.
And it will
way,
be.
Right? No, I shouldn't say
everything
gained.
will be to some
but
extent.
just like explore it and try different things. Right? I want to see some
like
sideway
puberty.
throwers. Yeah,
Let's treat it like puberty.
yeah. I'm waiting for it. It should be good.
But again, also, it doesn't affect most people.
Yeah. So here's the question: how many pro throwers are we going to have?
It doesn't affect most people. I'm gonna say is a dangerous assumption because I would think most people want to win worlds and want to be on ESPN and want to be good.
I would actually refute that. I would say if you look at the number of people that you have in league, that you have a segment of 6,000 people that absolutely want to make worlds. They want to better themselves. They're competitive. But I would say that the vast majority of that 6,000 are not in that category. They're there at league because it's their night out. Yeah. They're there to have fun. They could care less. They throw a 20, they throw a 30. Maybe they want to throw. Everybody wants to throw better. Yeah. But they don't go home and go, oh man, my entire world's opportunity is ruined. Yeah. They go home and go, wow, I can't wait to go back to the venue next week to see my friends and get a break from work.
Yeah. I equate it to the people going for pro league now. Right?
Well, yeah.
Because like if you're not going for pro league, then
do we have a number on how many people attempt pro league? Like, I know.
Okay,
I know
there's a database.
I mean, yes, we can absolutely get that number.
But I know there's people that like.
I think that there's attempt versus like competitively attempt.
Okay.
So and the other factor to that is
because there's a lot of people who just go for all kills just because it's fun.
Well, and there's people that go for half the kills because they feel like that's what they should be doing to get to the next level, even if it negatively hurts their scores or their throwing level doesn't reflect that, but they're just trying to get a head start.
Then I would say there's 400 to 500 actively trying to, or maybe even not trying to get pro league, but playing by pro league
Let me
rules
just say,
for
they're
the
not
intent
afraid
of
of
eventually going to pro
I
league.
want to say
More people are not afraid. We see that in our own league.
Yeah.
We see people with,
Mama Bear,
with 30 averages.
now named
oh
Killer
my
Bear.
gosh. She
Oh,
did
my goodness.
killed it today.
Yeah.
But we see people that you start to create this culture of just go for the kill.
Yeah.
Why not?
Same
What
size
have you
as the
got to
bull.
lose?
No.
But out of those people, none of those people care about worlds. They're doing that for the fun of it.
Yeah.
They're doing it for the enjoyment of it.
But there's still a subsection of people like Worlds. It's amazing. I was happy to go to Worlds. Exciting. Was I going to win Worlds? Probably not.
Yes. I believe in you.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
Are we having
Was that a moment? Oh, mark it.
I think so.
Yeah, but
Market
like,
for
not,
no
not
edit.
to be, the
Yeah.
asshole. Not to be the asshole in the room, but like we saw a lot of people like, oh, my average is really going to drop, and it's a 40.
Yeah. But
like-
and realizing that, like, what is it over the years? It's
it
4
should-
points.
should
But like
drop.
the
It's
average
harder.
needed to get to Worlds right now is like 55.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 40
mean,
average isn't going to get there regardless of the rule changes.
I've
Right,
made it to
like,
Worlds every year with
statistically-
a 43 average, so I'm not worried. I don't know where you can get this.
but you see,
information
we
from.
talk a lot about the progression of the sport.
Yeah.
And I think we face this. Every season, say, okay, I'm going for pro league. I'm going for pro league. I need a 53 to throw a pro league, to get into pro league based on what I saw last year. No, it's
Not
a
anymore.
55.
Right.
So I'm going to progress. Well, so is everybody else.
Yeah.
And you have new people coming in
And
Yeah.
that
are coming in above you.
And I talked to Gustin. I think we talked earlier about talking to Gustin today. There's only so much room.
Yeah.
If you're going to get up into that pro league, somebody has to throw worse.
Yeah.
You have to push somebody out. It's not like there's suddenly more throwers at pro league. We're not expanding pro league to 226 throwers.
Yeah.
You're pushing somebody out of that top 128.
Mm-hmm.
So you not only have to throw better yourself, you have to throw better than somebody else who's also trying to progress
Yeah.
to that level. So you have this fight to the top, and eventually, not that long, based on the numbers of the past 4 years, you've gone up 4 points, in the past 2 years to get into pro league. It's gone up 4 points average from a 51 to a 55.
And
So 2 points per year. You're looking next year. You want to be in pro league as the way things are in January of next year.
Yeah.
You've now got to throw a 57.
so, but how many people from Pro League have moved on, right? We have people.
To
that-
frisbee golf, you mean?
Disc.
I can't believe you call it frisbee golf. I love it. You love it. No, but sorry, I interrupted, but yeah, it's
It's so the point of and I think what a lot of people are missing with the reason for change. It's not that everybody's throwing a 64. Just statistically, you're right. Not everybody is throwing a 64. But the averages are getting higher and higher and
Heaviest
higher.
floor
There's
ever.
only so much space at the top.
there's no alcohol here. Don't worry.
It's apple juice.
So you need to open that up. You need
That's
to-
hobo urine.
Thank you. Thank you. I think
Brett, do you
we're
still
going to pay
need-
for this tomorrow.
If you need to get rid of it, I'll help.
I mean,
Straight to the bottle. Open
you can have
up.
even more. We've got some.
So yeah, it's
Well, and to that effect too, like so this last season, I threw like a 56.2 or something average, and I was having some back issues and didn't have a lot of time, and like in my head, thank you, sir. In my head, I was like, I'm not happy with that. Like I wasn't like. And don't get me wrong, like a lot of people would be ecstatic to throw a 56 average season. But for me and where I'm at now, I wasn't happy with that. I wanted to be mid 57s, high 57s,
with
maybe even a
kills or
58.
without?
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Here?
With kills.
With kills.
So, a 50, mid low 56, like I wasn't happy with that. Like I wanted to throw another marathon somewhere to try to do better. And in my head, I'm thinking like, well, it's the first season. Like statistically, I'm not going to get top 24 to get a bid anyway. I'm going to let the top 24 get their bid, and then next season I'll worry about trying to be into that area.
I
And then
played that game last year.
right.
Yeah.
And then in my head, like a 56 and a half average would have put me somewhere near 50, like overall on the leaderboard. And I was just like, I don't have time. I'm okay with that. I'll worry about it next season. That was like 89 like almost 100 on the leaderboard was like a 56. Like that was like
the train is left. It's
Yeah.
gonna keep getting.
Yeah. Don't sleep. The strategy last year, I thought the strategy was just let the pros do their thing. Right. Summer, I'm going to sweep in. I'm going to get my pro, and then in fall, I'm going to get my pro bid because all the really good players. So I'm like the leftover thrower. I'm going to get my pro bid in fall. That's the strategy. No, because the averages just kept climbing. So as I'm sleeping, thinking I'm really going to give it a go in the summer. All of a sudden, the averages have gone up a point or point and a half, whatever. Now I'm out of the running. Right. Now I just now I potentially hose myself for a pro bid.
That was my mentality last year too. I figured the first season I'm not going to worry about it. The second season I'll get a bid. The first season I didn't worry about it. The second season I was one spot out of getting a bid, and then it's like, okay,
Sorry,
now the year's
didn't clear. I tried.
It was like I was good until some last minute marathons and 3 people got in above me. I'm like, well, that's great, and good for them. Like they had a good day when they needed it, but like there was a moment of panic that set in. It's like, okay, now 2 out of my 4 chances are gone. Like maybe I should really either figure out how to get better or think of a different strategy, something. So,
are we doing Inception? Doing a video within a video within a podcast.
Pictures. Oh, that's what my
Oh.
hair looks like.
yeah. I was gonna talk to you when we were done about
You
that.
should have talked to me yesterday when I was on the floor with you.
Yeah, the hair and makeup did you no favors. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't
No,
afford that.
that was Caitlin, right? She did.
She braids pretty good.
Does she?
Yeah,
I should talk to her.
Oh, the lower part. Yeah.
Oh,
She's-
What are you trying to say?
No,
The beard. Trust me. Just
Okay,
leave it.
all right.
Hi, Tyler. You have hair. How's it going?
I don't know. Like there's kind of there's a couple different things that I think that could be seen as like issues with the sport, like increasing the excitement of TV, increasing the excitement of the gameplay, trying to even the playing
when we say
field.
TV, that's like it's putting a lot of just on ESPN, right? But we all like to watch.
Not
the
necessarily ESPN. ESPN's live streams, anything that is like consumable
Sitting in
information
here,
about the
try and
sport.
watch
Yeah,
the
even just
finals.
at a tournament, it is not exciting to watch a game.
Yeah. Like when I explain to people that like know me well and are excited to hear how I did at a tournament and what it's like, they're like, do a lot of people go and watch? And every time I get that question, I'm like,
throwers.
no,
Throwers.
you
watching
know,
throwers. But that's
No, but not even the throwers.
sometimes, like,
Like
and throwers
there was
are
3
watching
people watching the night finals, and that is the most exciting discipline.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, when I was throwing, there was like 9, if that means anything. But
No.
fake news.
It just
They
means
just
you're
haven't
further
left
in the
yet.
bracket. There was still more people here.
they just hadn't left yet.
No, but it's even as participants in the sport, it is not super exciting.
No.
What's exciting is me sitting next to Tristan or sitting next to Caitlin talking while there's a match going on.
Right.
So I get a chance to talk to them. Am I paying attention to the match? Probably not until 9.
until 9 and 10. And then you're like, oh, who's up?
Yeah, exactly. What's going on? I haven't paid attention. I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
who's up going into 9 and 10?
But at the
Okay.
same time, you can't look at the progression of the game in terms of making it exciting for viewers.
Well,
No.
Okay, let's be clear.
Sure,
It's
no.
not just our sport. I mean, baseball. Was that seventh inning stretch? I mean, any game that you have to stop and stretch by watching it.
I mean, yeah, like there's
So we just lost 3 more viewers.
we've never had
Go
that
stretch it
We
out.
never had 3 viewers.
Come
We're
back
just
to us.
recording.
Edit. Click.
It's about excitement. It's about connecting with people and everything else. That's for me where I want to see axe throwing. Get it
Right.
More exciting.
I mean, unpopular opinion, though, also, like, just from game theory, game design standpoint, the game is stupid.
Right.
The all or nothing dots at the end of the game are stupid.
That actually happened with the game with Malvey, with Steve Malvey. We got our first match. We threw our first 8 throws at bullseyes, and then after the 8th throw in the first match, he turned to me and he goes, "Well, none of that mattered."
Yep.
So we're going for kill shots now?
Yeah.
I'm like, let's do it.
Well,
Yeah.
but so when I look at darts, and it's the same thing, and they've got like 500,000 pounds in a purse there, right? So
I
what's
don't know.
darts pounds?
But it does. Every throw
notes.
matters in darts.
Well,
right?
darts,
Lots of money.
darts prize pool for the United States was like $2.5 million.
Yeah. So
Something like
that's-
that.
do the
But it's more
conversion.
exciting because when you
But
miss,
why?
you have to go for something else. Like
Yeah.
it forces you to go for
30151.
different things
Yeah. Yep.
It's
around the
not-
board. It's not
it's
like
not more
yes,
exciting.
there is a progression to a perfect 9-dart finish, and
Yeah.
if you're on that progression, you know what they're going to throw
But
at.
it's
But as soon as you
tripsticks
get
and
off
doubles,
that progression,
yeah.
You have no idea.
you have to go for other things to get back on that progression.
And there's
right?
multiple ways to accomplish the same task when
Yeah.
you get off that progression, which is what makes it
based on like what you want to do.
right.
Or
So
someone could come into the game and be, loved on the mat over there.
mhm.
You know what I'm talking about?
And like a cuddle.
Yeah. It was good.
mid-game.
It was good.
That's an
Yeah.
instant foot fault.
Is it?
Is it? It was worth it. It was worth every second.
Loved it.
Miller, you had to be there.
No.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a
As a
couple.
witness,
There's a couple
for legal
different like
reasons.
things that you could argue are like points of improvement, and you can't really tackle all of them with one time.
No.
Like you kind of have to step through it. And as we were talking earlier, my experience is probably the newest thrower sitting here, not probably too terribly far off, but like everything that I've experienced has been a step through process. It's been, let's change this little thing to fix this one thing. Let's change this little thing to fix this other thing. And like this new set of rules seems like it's an attempt to take, years worth of step through progression and do it all at once, which, that I'm excited for. I'm excited for it to be new. I'm excited for it to be different.
I mean, one of the biggest complaints we have had over the years is it's always changing.
Yeah, it
So
seems like you're
there
making it
was-
harder every year.
There was a lot of discussion around these new rules of, well, maybe we just do this, and then we add this, and then we add this.
Yeah, that was a large conversation. It's like, well, what if we just add the bullseyes this year, and then we do the inner kills the year after that, and then we do the 15-foot after that, or whatever. And it's like, okay, but if we know that that's where we want to end up, if we know that that's the end goal,
Yeah.
just do it.
I
right?
think
Like, just don't.
It comes out, it's called the Dylan Teets argument. Dylan Teets never threw on the big kills, never threw on the big bulls.
Right.
He's a guy that did some stuff this year.
Yeah.
Look him up. It's on Wikipedia.
I have his trophy. I'm never giving it back. Right.
But he never
Nice.
threw on those. He knows no different other
Right.
than what
So
he.
the game never
what-
got harder
what he
for
won.
him.
So like,
That's right.
but to somebody like that, a change like this is huge because
Sure.
they haven't been involved in.
But to somebody
the
who
little
joins
small-
up in winter of 2024,
It's what the game.
they know
is.
no different.
Right.
But right,
They
so
know
when
no
the
different.
last like real major change was made to the game, we had 2,000 people throwing.
Mm.
Right, we now have almost 10. So 8,000 people never experienced those changes,
Right.
right? And the people that complain are the ones who do experience the changes.
Mm.
So if we can front load the changes now, then anyone who joins in 2024 will not experience changes.
Until the end of 2024.
No, because 2024, but like if we were
Until
rolling out
Trump's
smaller
president.
changes every single year, then more people would experience that change.
Right. No, and that's a valid point. It's a lot to digest. It is. It's
It
a
is.
lot to.
And it's
But
a
it
fear.
does.
The
I
initial
fully
reaction
admit
is a
it
fear
does kind of
change.
suck for the people doing it now.
right.
Like it's a huge growing pain for the people doing it now, but it's to help the people who aren't doing it now,
Right.
so that when they come in, they aren't experience changing every year. They're in a more fully developed version of the sport. Just
Right.
like you and I, if we join a bowling league or a dart league, I don't know how good you are at bowling or darts. I do not expect
Amazing.
to
I have my own
throw a
bowling
perfect
shoes.
game in bowling
No.
or throw a perfect game in darts when I join the league.
Well, you
Because I
should.
know the rules and I know that they're difficult and I know them going in.
Yeah. I've thrown one perfect game in bowling.
Lies.
One. I did. I really did, and I stopped bowling after that.
Come to like
I really did
competitive
stop bowling,
bowling,
like-
at a super competitive level, and has thrown
Pretty
two.
much. Yeah, I bowled in a league, and I started out. And bowling leagues are like 20 weeks.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Like it was a long league.
Yeah.
And
But that's not to say that perfection should not be achievable, but it should not be achievable without time and dedication.
It should.
Otherwise,
mean
you have
something.
a boring sport.
Right.
Yeah.
Guess what? Right now, at all levels, we have a boring sport because your goal is to hit one spot on a board repetitively, time after time after time. Not everybody's achieving that yet, but we see drop off. We see people that are just like, well, it's boring. I'm not achieving my goals, so I'm going to move on to something else. You give them options. You give them different paths and different ways and a progression. And there's very much a progression under this new sport,
which I really like.
Under this new board. You give them incentive to continue and to grow and to work towards achieving that perfection.
Yeah.
I mean, Dylan threw a 60 yesterday on this new board?
Yeah.
This is not tailored to specifically try and level him down, to try and level Tyler or Lucas down. It's to level the playing field.
Big X.
Yeah,
so,
that's
so Tyler can continue winning.
Another check. But it's to try and even
Listen,
the
I'm gonna
playing
be
field
even more
and give
dangerous than Big
incentive and
X
progression
once
to
this
people
rule
that's
starts.
viewable and
Yeah.
achievable
Here to
over
here.
time.
It's gonna happen.
Just like any
Or
other
knife.
sport.
Or not.
I'm just gonna take up knife because here's the thing. It's like, and people have already brought this up. And it's not all me. It
It's all
really
about
is
Tyler.
not.
It's a Tyler show.
These rules, even from when I proposed changes, have changed a million times.
Yeah, I threw Tyler under the bus like 3 seconds after.
Oh,
I
yeah.
spent
That was
not
immediately.
fair.
I spent
But I
this
mean, yes.
entire weekend
I mean,
throwing him
you're
under
not
the
wrong
bus.
that I was
For no reason.
What would Tyler
a
do?
large piece of that, a large piece of the puzzle in creating the new rules, which means that, in all intents and purposes, I should not compete in at least the first Worlds
heard it here.
played
He's
on these
retiring.
rules.
Okay. Retirement.
I don't agree with that.
Oh. You say I agree.
I could compete at other tournaments. I think.
I think if no, I
Perhaps.
don't. I mean, I agree with that from my own personal. I don't want to throw against Tyler perspective, but I don't agree with that because if these, like, let's say the rules exactly as designed are what they are, and these rules go into effect 8-9 months from now, and then the first Worlds is a year after that, like. If you give anybody,
year 4. So you're 2 years.
Yeah,
but
if you
the
give-
argument could still
arguably
exist
at
that I
Worlds.
designed rules to advantage myself.
and you probably did, but
Oh,
if you
absolutely.
give, if you give,
I mean, I also rig every bracket, guys. So like, I
can-
don't know why
I can
people
assure you
haven't
that the first
haven't
rule
gotten
set
that about
presented
that.
is not as it was
but well,
today.
if you give a community of 10, 12,000 people a year and 8 months to practice and perfect this new game
I'm going to tell you
design,
right now, I am not going to practice
and
because
you never, yeah.
like,
But if you give somebody that amount of time and you still win, is that your fault? I don't believe it is. I think you've given everybody a fair chance to digest, to learn, to practice. I don't feel like you should not be able to throw at the first World.
well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see
I
how
mean,
we'll
you
see how the
shouldn't.
community feels.
I mean, you definitely shouldn't. But I don't think for
I
that
would be,
reason.
I would be okay bailing out, especially since like big axe duels, knives aren't making big changes, right? Like I can still compete in those.
Right.
I think even working for Waddle, even
I
having
think you
a
just
handset
proved
and
your
stuff.
distraction theory right there with that statement alone.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see it. I don't know. I personally would not, like, say if you and I were in the final, which, I mean, it's a long shot. Let's say you and I were in the finals not you, but me. It's all about me. So
I'm trash.
let's say we're in the finals.
She just hit the edit button right there again.
Yeah. If we're in the finals of Worlds at Hatchet and the next Worlds with these new sets of rules and I lose to you, nowhere in my mind am I going to think, well, he wrote the rules. It's his fault. I'm going to think, like, what do I need to do better to have an advantage in the same situation later? And anybody else who isn't thinking that way is thinking from, like, a selfish standpoint. Like, that's a long time.
If you don't
A
agree,
long time to practice.
Get in the comments.
yep.
No, I'm just
Smash
saying.
that like button.
Smash the like button.
You give 10,000 people over a year to practice. You can't blame a No, I don't agree with that. Not at all. Official statement.
Yeah, but even with practice, if I designed it knowing that it's a game that I will be good at versus a game that the community would be good at.
You designed spicy dice because you statistically had a higher kill shot average than you did a bullseye average, and people still played.
Yeah, and it did not go well for me, actually.
Right. You know, it's, yeah.
Oh, the backfires.
I don't know.
So just a reminder, the pitch for this podcast was we're going to start talking about the rules and then we're going to deflect and change.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Deflect.
We're going to bring the rules up and then change the subject.
I think it's a good discussion. I think the more information, the more discussion, the more information people have behind the background of why decisions were made. And it's not even decisions at this point. It's why we released rules in the current state to get that feedback, to understand how people feel, but also to get a new game in the hands of people's to throw and play and enjoy the game.
People asking a lot of semantic questions that like either we don't know the answer to or like don't matter at this point, right? Like, yeah, we don't have all of them now, but the choices were release them in an unpolished form now, 9 months ahead of time, or wait till we have all the answers and polish everything and have the tournament circuit down and know what the divisions are and all of that and release it in November.
Yep.
But how do you polish them without letting people know what it is and giving people a chance?
You can only do so much pre-testing with small groups of people. We want to see we want to see marathons out there. We want to see people taking this and throw a tournament.
Yeah.
We want to see what happens in real life. Software developers don't just develop. Well, okay, they do. They develop in this little box. The whole point of the whole point of releasing an alpha version out there is to find the bugs.
Right.
And that's what this is. Let's find the bugs as a community. Let's work together.
It's a sandbox.
Develop this into
everybody play
the next best version of what this game can be.
Yeah, I didn't realize that not everyone knew what like alpha meant.
I saw that comment.
And I was like, oh.
Unintentional. I mean, I understand how somebody could maybe read that a little differently in the context of the current political climate. Completely unintentional. This is a software reference, people.
Yeah.
I like the sandbox terminology because, like, to me, a sandbox is somewhere you go and play.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. You're there to play. So when I'm testing new things in my IT world, like I put it in a sandbox and I play. And if I break it, I clean the sandbox and move on.
You know, if we can go back to the QATL, like I mean, John Bradley was putting out games every week that
crazy
were
games.
Crazy. It was like reverse it was reverse bulls with kills one week, you know, and that didn't really work, you know, to a full extent. There was all these different things, and people were open to it because it was something different. Try it. Let's go with it. And that's the key. You have to try it before you can, right?
It's like dating before you get married.
And these aren't even the most wild things we've come up with.
Wait, we got some stuff for you.
I went on like 4 dates in exactly 6 months from my first date. I got married, so that's why I laughed when I said that. Like,
welcome to Wisconsin.
We weren't even related. Wait a second.
Well,
nobody forced it either. It just it happened.
That's what she said.
That was
yeah.
A lot of years ago too.
Cheese curds, good.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah, segues.
Yeah. So we got about 2 hours here. So and we got
duels tomorrow.
Wait, this is rolling?
Yeah,
we're live.
Yeah, we got
not live. We're recording.
12:20 a.m. in the Eastern time zone.
Son of a.
Yeah, with duels tomorrow. So, and I still got to stop back and get.
Still got a finger or two to go here.
Yeah. Well, we can.
Yeah, just so we're aware, we have
completely destroyed a bottle of Lagavulin.
Well, I'll just call it the
Offerman Edition.
The Ron Swanson, aged 11 years. Yeah,
I think Mike Cump's first game on this target is 64 against Ella.
Yep.
So at least I'm not the original villain.
No, yeah.
It's definitely
the precedent
Mike.
has been established.
Yeah.
I think I might be taking it over soon, just in general.
Mike even self-absorbs that title. Like he will say, like, I took the villain, role.
He owned it, and great guy. First off, let's be real. Like he's a good guy.
Sucking up.
But such a dick.
To who? Oh, the commish. Got it.
You gonna start throwing knives now? Is that what's happening?
No,
Suck up to the commish.
No. Oh, right. I forgot. Oh man.
So he gave a great interview with Bill Feinberg.
Yeah.
And they talked a lot about that villain role and just about roles in axe throwing. And he lives it. He loves it. He absolutely loves it. I can remember in Quado, we set up a match between him and Ella.
Yeah.
And it was like a revisiting of that villain role. And I remember messaging him to say, like, are you okay with this? Because you're like, I get it. You're going to take the flack. You're the villain in this. He's like, no, it's cool. Like, I got this. I'm good with this. Like, he owns it and he loves it. He's good at it.
Smart guy.
It's entertainment.
So the other thing that he talked about in that podcast was the inability at the top level to level up.
Yep.
And how once you've hit a 64, maybe not once you've hit a 64, but once you've hit a few 64s, you can never be happy with your performance in the game.
Unless it's
I don't
64.
even think it needs to be a 64. Yeah, it's
Well, and that's a problem though. It's like, right, like I can only ever be disappointed with how I throw. I can never be happy.
Yeah.
Right. And that's an issue. And again, the vast majority of people don't know that yet.
Yeah.
But they are trying to get to that level and they don't realize that level kind of sucks.
Yeah.
For that reason. Like all that you're striving for, all that motivation that you have right now, all that
it's
fire,
like finishing a video
it's
game.
going to leave.
My wife can attest to that at leagues. Like there was one league match, like week 8 tournament that I threw a 64-63 and she was all excited and she's like, you threw it 64-63, and then my first thought was I screwed up one throw.
Yeah.
Like that's what my thought was. Like that's great, but I made a mistake. And that's what I focused on. So and then she looked at me like I was crazy, and I was like, "It's true."
Making it more difficult, while it'll definitely be frustrating at times, will make it more worthwhile.
Rewarding,
like I'll be more. I don't know. I feel like if I throw above a 58, I would be ecstatic. Versus if it's not a 64, I'm mad.
Yeah. Right.
And then the one throw doesn't put you out of it, right? Like if you throw a 5 on throw 1 now, I'm like, well, this game's a wash.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Today I had a drop, and I was like, I haven't dropped forever, right? And it was an over rotation. Whatever happened, it happened, and it took 4 throws to get me back into a spot, right? And I was like, the game's never over, right? So.
Yeah, that happened to me against Gustin in
you're
in
your
tournament.
own worst.
I got him
enemy,
for you.
Yeah,
right?
I had well, this was 2 years ago, or maybe. I was thrown against him. I don't remember what match we were in or who won what, but he had a drop on like throw 1 or 2, and it was right after he changed his throw, he changed his stance, he changed his axe, he changed everything, and so. He was struggling, obviously, because he made a lot of changes at once, which was smart, though. He did it all at once, and he's going to work through all of it at once and progress.
Yeah.
Rather than
once, smart.
Yeah, well, I mean, rather than
good job, guys.
It was
sideways glance.
Yeah, it was smart to not change your grip and then work through that, and then change your stance and work through that. He changed everything, and he suffered because of it. And he had a drop in a match in a tournament, and the first thing I thought is, well, I won this game.
Yeah, it's over. Right?
And then all of a sudden, like throw 8 or 9, I had like a 4 and then a handful of 5s, and it came down to kill shots, and I missed, and he hit, and I'm like, you just beat me.
Game's never
and you
over.
had a drop.
Yeah.
Like what?
I did that too, right? At Explosion.
Yeah.
I had a drop on throw 1, and I managed to come back and. Still 5 and 10.
Actually, when you
Explosion
hit that
was
drop
5
today, all I
and
was
10,
thinking is you got 3 kills now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you did not look up
you
the
can
entire
still,
time. So I know when we get focused throwing, we walk back and we're looking down. You're not looking out in the crowd.
I don't need
you can still throw a
rest.
60 with a drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody did that to me once. They had a drop on the first throw and they threw a 60.
Yeah. Yeah.
Step, looking at you, buddy. Love the 3.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, like, you know, everyone has their own kind of like mindset in the game. You know, you have your friends there showing support. You have people not just showing support, but trying to give you tips on how to throw better. Right?
Drops are fun. 60s are fun. I did a whole league season of spicy dice with 3 kills. Because I was supposed to do
very different worlds in league, Tyler.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do a marathon at the end of the season.
That didn't work out.
To like, you know, for my real season, and I got COVID. So my spicy dice season had to stand. So I had a low seed for a while. But I still made Pro League.
Boring.
Never.
Yeah, no.
I think I got
Impressive.
COVID before COVID because my problem is I caught a red eye coming back from the West Coast, which is
Like,
outside
you
of
mean
China and Japan and everything
Red eye,
else.
pink eye, or a flight?
Flight. Anyways, so I was there getting the red eye, not pink eye. Jeez. Wait, did I say pink eye?
The people want to know.
Pink eye is poop eye.
This is
Anyways,
quickly going downhill, y'all.
distraction noodles.
This is
No, so but no, I
We're sort of
did it,
reaching a
went through all
limit
this
here.
stuff
We're done
and everything else, and yeah, may have got COVID, but that's fine. It's good. Is that what we're going
I
for?
know we
Yeah.
said COVID.
Yeah,
We
you get
talked about
COVID.
On that note, let's wrap this up.
No. When are you getting COVID?
As soon as you give
maybe
it to
should
me.
test sometime.
I've tested a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
All
end
right.
do you put the stick?
all right, Brett. I think one final
swabbing
short
both
question
cheeks.
for everyone. No tangents.
All right.
Bring us home. Bring us home, Brett.
Where's your next tournament?
Me? I'm going to Disney.
Pro League Series, baby.
Yeah.
PLS, yeah.
I
PLS,
gotta,
2
Flying
weeks.
Squirrel, yeah.
Then throw Ohio.
Yeah.
I should probably
you're
start.
taking
Ohio.
a
It's
favorite
going to
break.
be, well,
Okay.
I mean, probably Rust Belt in between. Bo hasn't got
Is it-
the exact date yet, but
Yeah,
probably
wow.
Rust Belt. But next biggest tournament, throw
No one
Ohio.
said anything.
Bucket list.
Yeah, that reminds me. I gotta sign up for PLS. Oh wait, I can't.
No.
April 1st was the cutoff, and we're past
No,
midnight.
April
No,
was
no,
the cutoff
guaranteed
for
is
guaranteed
cutoff.
registration.
Well, they didn't say.
You got money? You got in.
They didn't say what time zone. So
Sign up now.
yeah.
Sign up
all
all your
right, time
friends,
for the
too.
awkward stare.
I've been practicing this.
Yeah,
this game.
everyone needs to awkwardly stare at the camera.
Oh, the camera.
Oh,
as
the
we close this
camera.
out.
Is this thing on?
Or you can look at me. Awkward.
Right now? Oh.
Awkward.
Are we doing a still
Awkward.
frame?
No
I
talking.
love cameras.
No talking.
Oh,
Shut the fuck up.
can't. It's like
All
a
right, we're
switch.
done.